ब्रह्मे सर, माझा आवाज येतोय? Other participants, can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
You are audible.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Sir, सुरू
Just a minute.
करायचं? Okay,
I'm just
okay.
connecting.
Yes. Good morning, all of you. Today, for the first session, we have invited Professor Dr. Manoj Bramhe, sir. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of UGC HRDC Nagpur and from all the participants of this refresher course. Friends, it's an honor to introduce today's speaker, respected Dr. Manoj Bramhe, sir. Dr. Professor Manoj Bramhe passed out from SGGS Government Aided College of Engineering and Technology, Nanded, with Computer Science and Engineering in 1996 and has completed his ME from Mumbai University in 2011 and completed his doctorate degree from RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur in 2020. His title for PhD thesis was Design of a Secured Storage System for a Multi-Cloud Environment. Sir has published 2 patents in the cloud security domain. He has organized more than 10 conferences and faculty development program as well as short-term training programs. He has published more than 20 research papers of national and international repute in journals as well as conferences. His areas of interest are cloud computing, security, machine learning, and database technologies. Sir has more than 25 years of teaching experience in Mumbai and Nagpur University. Currently, he is working as a professor and head Department of Information Technology, St. Vincent Pallotti College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. He has developed departmental level Center of Excellence AI and ML at his college, having association with IIIT Hyderabad and many other institutes. With this brief introduction, I once again welcome Dr. Manoj Bramhe, sir, and I kindly request you to please start your session on the today's topic of cloud computing. Over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. We'll start within 1 minute.
Yeah, yes, sir.
big service provider like Amazon Web Services kind of thing, and we can store our data on the cloud. So whenever we can process the data on the go anywhere. Just need to log in into our account and process the thing.
Yes, yes, very true. Just a minute. Yes. So whatever the two answers shared by two of our participants, that's true. We can share the data from anywhere, anytime, and globally accessible. But
And
why
also,
we?
sir,
Yes, yes.
so we can backup, no? We can backup anywhere. No need for USB and all to carry. So anywhere we can use it from anywhere. So no backup needed. So everything is in cloud. So more convenient.
Okay. So nothing is required for that one. Okay, that's true. Uh, but basically, why people needed a cloud computing? What is the reason for that one?
Fast accessing of data. Sir,
Sir, actually, it provides the more flexibility than for local server.
the fast accessing of data. Am I
Okay,
right?
okay. Fine. Some of you are giving a right answer partially to that level. But basically, before beginning a session, why we need a cloud computing is uh, cloud is, if you want to discuss the architecture, you might have studied. I can understand from physics background people, but for computer science background people, you might have studied all the type of different type of architecture. That is, one is a client server architecture. Okay, one is a standalone machine. In a standalone machine, we save the data and a standalone place, but it is only can be used by the people who are connected with that. Another one is a client server system. So these are the past systems. So initially, people begin with the mainframe. If you have already studied, IBM were the leaders for mainframe computers in those who have developed IBM 360, 370 in the decade of 1960 to 1970, and those were used for that one. But those were very huge computers, can't be used. Then personal computers have come. So in a personal computer, people were using for standalone system. But then when the use of computer increases, people have moved towards a client server computing. In a client server, whole data is in a uh, server and client can access. But again, that is a limitation. So you can connect in a LAN or WAN area through the client server system. Then you might have studied the subjects like what we call as a distributed system. So in a distributed system, the difference between a client server and distributed system is that in a server, the whole data is stored in a server, but in a distributed system, the data is distributed at various location globally, at either at various company location. For example, suppose Facebook is having 10 offices. So those data can be stored at 10 various places.
तर विचारा अदरवाइज आता तुम्ही सेकंड हेडिंग देऊ शकता स्टेप नंबर 2.
Yes. So then, because of all these things, but the main problem with the client server system was we can only access the data whenever we are connected to the server. For example, suppose I am available in my office and I want to access my college data, then I can connect it with my local machine. But suppose I am on leave for 8 days, then I can't get my important data for which I have to come. So that is a drawback of client server systems. So the cloud computing has given us the leverages that it can be accessed 24 by 7 into 365 day from anywhere, any place, because it is connected through the internet. And then again, biggest disadvantages of the client server system where uh, it has a limitations for the storing of data. But in cloud computing, we can use a number of parallel servers and we can extend the size of the data storage, size of the memory, size of the processing, theoretically to the unlimited space. And third thing is that if any organization want to maintain data, if that organization is a local organization where it has an office only at one location, then in that case, it is sufficient to store the data. But for example, if you consider the organization like Google or Facebook or say ONGC or say TCS, then this organization have locations, more than hundreds and thousands of locations where their offices are located among the countries globally. Now if they want to connect with each other offices, then there was no way in client server system. That's why people move to the distributed computing, and cloud computing is a specialized application of a distributed computing. So we'll move ahead. This was just basic thing before beginning with our presentation. Okay, so I will start with the basics. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Okay. So cloud computing, here outline of my presentation is what is the cloud computing, different perspective of cloud computing, properties and characteristics of cloud computing, and the benefits of from the cloud computing that we will be studying through this presentation. And then we'll go through some more important thing, what is meant by service and deployment models. So basically, the National Institute of Standards and Technology (NIST), which is a government organization which define the standards for US government, they have defined the cloud computing, and they have also shared their document, which I will be sharing as an e-resource through madam to you. You can refer to them later onwards. So NIST definition is very popular one, which says that cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources, that is either network, server, storage, application services that can be shared, that can be rapidly provisioned and released with a minimal management effort or service provider interaction. So if we go through this definition, it means that cloud computing is a model which provide on-demand network access. So basically cloud computing is related to networking, that is distributed computing, where all the different type of the devices, like it can be computers, PCs, networks, servers, storage, applications, they can be provided on demand as per the demand of the end user. They can be provided. If the demand is more can be provided. If the demand is less can be provided. So that is one of the distinguished feature of cloud, we can say. And this is the so that that can be rapidly provision and release, meaning is that as per the need. So cloud services like network, server, storage, application, they can be provided or they can be released whenever the suppose for one particular application we need say 1 terabyte of ram for a particular period of 8 days. So for 8 days ram size can be increased to 1 terabyte, and after 8 days this can be released again to minimum 8 GB of space. So meaning is that we can add the resources, we can remove the resources with the minimal management effort, means without any human intervention or without a service provider interaction. That is a definition. This is actually the official definition of from NIST. Then Berkeley University has also defined the cloud computing refers to both the applications delivered as the services over the internet. So it is nothing but cloud computing is the various applications which are delivered as a service over. For example, Gmail is what? Whenever we use a Google document, that is nothing but a cloud computing. It is an application which is delivered as a service over the internet. You can upload the data using Google Doc. So that is a Google Doc is application which is delivering the service of storing the data for the user over the internet, and hardware and system software in the data center that provide those services. Now, for the Google Doc to be uploaded, like you and me, maybe lakhs of people are uploading the data in a Google Doc. So where it is stored, it will be stored somewhere in the Google data centers, having number of hardware servers and the system software which Google is maintaining. So Berkeley said the definition from this angle. So Berkeley said that when a cloud is made available in a pay-as-you-go manner to the public, the service being sold is called utility computing. You see that one afterward. Then there is another professor that is called Dr. Rajkumar Bhuiya. He is called a father of cloud computing, and he is basically Indian origin. Currently, he is working as a in Melbourne University, and he has developed many simulation related to cloud computing. He is also the promoter and the starter of this IEEE transactions on cloud computing. We can say he is number one or a father of cloud computing globally. So he has defined a cloud. That cloud is a type of parallel and distributed system. So he said that cloud is a one of a application of distributed system and one of application of parallel systems, consisting of collection of interconnected and virtualized computers that are dynamically provisioned and presented as one or more unified computing resources based on SLA, service level agreements. Meaning is that, for example, this UGC HRDC college, they want to connect with 100 colleges. And so, for example, through UGC, the 100 engineering and the science colleges want the training from a UGC HRDC college Nagpur. So those 100 colleges, the UGC HRDC center in Nagpur, they will sign a SLA, that is called service level agreements, with 100 colleges. Now in that agreement, on paper, it will be mentioned that what are the services which will be provided by UGC, that is training online, then providing of resources. So UGC HRDC center has to maintain one distributed systems using a connection of virtualized computer, and then they can provide the training. Even they can provide online resources for cloud computing or blockchain or DevOps or any sort of application. So SL is nothing but it is established through negotiation between service provider and consumer. So in this case, UGC HRDC College Nagpur will be the service provider, and 100 colleges whose faculty members will be going through the online training and online resource sharing on the emerging technologies like cloud computing, they will become a consumer. So these are the three definitions which are popular. So in a summary, we can say that cloud computing is a paradigm of computing. It is a new paradigm, a new way of thinking about IT industry, but it is not related to any specific technology. It is a collection of various technologies and application together. So centrally, we can say cloud computing is a utility computing. It is used for the various utilities. For example, suppose a normal person, he can use a Google Doc applications or other Google applications for uploading and downloading of data. For example, suppose I am an insurance company giant, I may use cloud computing for uploading my insurance thing. A banking person may use it for banking purpose. So as per the utility, cloud can be used. So it is a utility computing, which say that it is a pay as you go model. Then it is cloud computing is based on service oriented architecture. The architecture of the cloud computing is basically related to the service oriented, how services can be provided to the end user. And already we have gone through this service level agreement, SLA. So these are the properties. Cloud computing has high scalability and elasticity, high availability and reliability, high manageability and interoperability, high accessibility and portability, high performance and optimization. So cloud computing enabling techniques, cloud computing can be implemented with the help of hardware virtualization, parallelized and distributed system, and web services. So we'll go in detail about the properties and characteristics of a cloud computing. Okay. So what is a utility computing? Utility computing is a one service provisioning model. Service provider makes computing resources and infrastructure management available to the customer as needed and charges them for a specific uses rather than a flat rate. Meaning is that, for example, uh, in Nagpur, one cloud data center is established by one of a company, say TCS Nagpur, and uh, say engineering colleges in Nagpur. Suppose there are 50 engineering colleges in Nagpur, and they want to access the resources, e-resources related to engineering. So TCS Nagpur can make these services available. Now TCS Nagpur, what it has to make it as a service provider, it has to provide the computing resources. That is a list of parallel servers in a data center, then storage, then servers, then computing facility like processors, and it has to provide infrastructure management. So TCS will maintain a cloud infrastructure and cloud computing resources in the TCS Nagpur office, and it will be available to the customer as needed. Meaning is that, and charges them for specific use. For example, my college wherever I'm working, suppose it need the services of teaching learning resources from TCS throughout the year. So TCS will charge them for 365 days. But suppose another college, they want that, no, we want only in a semester pattern whenever my students are coming. So only 3 plus 3 in odd semester 3 months and even semester 3 months. So only 6 months, then at a flat rate for they will charge that college for 6 months. Suppose one college say we don't have that much budget and we want to train our faculty within 1 month. So then TCS Nagpur will charge them for 1 month. So depending upon the need, so therefore cloud computing is referred as pay as you go model, meaning as you need to pay only for those services which you are asking for. You don't have to pay for whole services. So that is the beauty of cloud computing. Depending upon the budget, you can get a utility. So service oriented architecture, this is architecture which is provided on this architecture the cloud computing functions. So there is a service provider, for example, HRDC college can be a service provider, and 100 colleges who want to take a training from HRDC, they will become a service consumer. So service consumer, these colleges will request to the HRDC college for providing a service of online training, and then HRDC college will provide those services. So this is a basic version of service oriented architecture. The cloud is based on that one. So here it is a one or many service provider, and here it is a many service consumer. Service level agreement, already I have explained you this time. In the service level agreement, what is the important thing? We have to mention the quality of services. That is in service level agreement, for example, HRDC, suppose if it is going to provide services of online training to 100 colleges in India, so then it will mention in that service level agreement what is uptime and downtime ratio, meaning is that how much time that server will be up, and if at all downtime, it should be very minimum, say hardly for seconds and minutes. What will be system throughput, meaning is that suppose the colleges want to download a huge amount of computing resources, or suppose all these 100 colleges want to download the training materials or want to execute those, maybe suppose real-time compiler can be provided by the HRDC college, and real-time cloud services, HRDC may connect with the Google, HRDC may connect with the Amazon services and can provide real-time services. But for that one, HRDC has to mention on paper that what will be uptime and downtime for the application, what will be the throughput of system, and what will be response time. For example, one Kerala college want to connect from Kerala where suppose network connectivity is not proper. How much response time it will be provided by the HRDC college. Now, in that case, naturally, HRDC College Nagpur, it can guarantee the response time from their server. For example, at a end user side, if the network is an issue, suppose end user is working from a rural area, then that cannot be guaranteed. But SLA is related to the service provider, how much, then what type of problem will occur and how HRDC college will manage that problem management. Penalties for non-performance. Suppose HRDC promises that online training will be provided in those 8 days, and in those 8 days, suppose the server of the HRDC got failure and it couldn't work, then what type of penalty they can pay for non-performance. So what type of security, suppose all these 100 colleges are going to upload the confidential data of their faculty members for a training purpose, then HRDC has to mention how this data will be maintained in a secure way. So these are the things which has to be maintained on paper, and that agreement will be signed by HRDC and that respective college. So that is called as a SLA. So basically, the cloud, as we studied, it is based on the service-oriented architecture, and it is functioning as per the points which are signed and agreed by both the party. That we called as a service level agreement or SLA. Then maybe some of you already knows this thing, but I will repeat for as a whole participants. What is meant by scalability? So these are the properties. Why we prefer cloud, as we discussed. Why, if because there are some drawbacks of client server computing. There are drawbacks of peer-to-peer network. That's why people have moved to the cloud computing. So scalability and elasticity. What is scalability? Scalability says that a desirable property of a system or a network or a process which indicates its ability to either handle growing amounts of work in a graceful manner or to be readily enlarged. So scalability means that you suppose in a cloud computing, uh, currently HRDC want to offer the services to 100 institution for online training. But for example, if this training become popular and next year, suppose more 100 institution across the India request HRDC Nagpur to conduct the training. So 100 plus 100 next year, 23-24, there will be 200 institution. Now HRDC must have the scalability property. It must have that much computing resources, that much hardware, that much server, that much storage facility, and that much internet connection. It has to be provided to handle the growing amount of work in a graceful manner. Means without affecting the services to the previous 100 institution, HRDC should be able to scalable. So scalability is meaning like that one. What is elasticity? The ability to apply a quantifiable methodology that allows for the basis of adaptive introspection within real-time infrastructure. So meaning is that with the changes in the environment, with changes in hardware and software, it should be able to change the behavior. That is the elasticity. So cloud computing provide these properties through dynamic provisioning. Dynamic provisioning means that suppose uh, there are three popular services which you already know. There are three popular cloud service provider. One is called Amazon, which provide the Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Service. Amazon AWS is the popular cloud, which is the number one cloud available commercially and free of cost. Then another is Google GCP, that is Google Cloud Processor. So Google Cloud is another one, and third one is Windows Azure. So Microsoft has provided Azure, Google has provided GCP, and Amazon has provided AWS. So these are the three organizations which are globally leaders in providing those services. Now, for example, currently in a Google Cloud across India, suppose 5,000 organizations are connected, and with the performance next time, suppose 10,000 more organization will be adding in next year, then Google must able to provide all these things with the help of dynamic provisioning. So next year it may possible that out of this 5,000 colleges, some of the colleges don't want that much resources which they were consuming this year. So that should be dynamic provision help us to increase the resources or to decrease the resources. Then there is another terminology which is used in the cloud computing. Cloud computing works in a multi-tenant design. So multi-tenancy, the tenant we know, the owner and tenant. Normally, whenever we are not staying in our permanent house, if we move out to a outside city for our job purpose, then we we prefer to be a tenant. So there is a owner and he lent us his house for a period of 11 month, and then we can renew that one. But now when we take away the house, at that time, the example of one family renting a house, that is a single tenant system. But if we consider the hostel system, in a hostel at a time, four students are staying in a one room, but all of them has a different cupboards, all of them have a different beds uh, to use them. That is different. But some of the things like kitchen maybe is common for a hostel, the washroom is a common, maybe TV set is common, maybe washing machine is common. So some of the services are common and some of the services are different. So that type of hostel room is the example of multi-tenant system. So in a cloud computing also, within a one server, for example, HRDC provides one server and 100 institution across India, they want to access. So what HRDC will do under HRDC server, they will create 100 spaces, and every one particular space will be allocated to one college. Like that, 100 spaces will be created. So for example, suppose one college from Karnataka want to connect with the HRDC, then HRDC may provide a space of 500 GB to that Karnataka college, depending upon what charges they are providing to them. and all the data of faculty members, their training resources, their schedule, everything will be saved in that particular 500 GB of space. Parallelly, suppose another college from Andhra Pradesh, they want to access things. So like that 100 colleges, the 100 means the server is partitioned into 100 parts, 100 chunks, and then it is a virtual partition. And then according to the need of organization, the resources will be provided. That is an example of multi-tenant system. Then cloud also provide the another service that is called as availability and reliability. So what is availability? The availability is the degree to which a system or equipment is in a specified operable and commutable state at the start of mission, when the mission is called for an unknown time. Cloud system usually require high availability. So availability meaning is that, and the reliability is the ability of a system or component to perform its required functions under the stated condition for a specified period of time. For example, giving you the difference between availability and reliability, we would say that ATM machine is available 24/7. That every bank says, because whenever you go to any ATM machine 24/7, you can deposit or you can withdraw the money. But if you talk about the, so availability is 100% from a bank's perspective point of view. But reliability is that we also know that throughout the 24 hours, for there need a time to put the hard money, that is a cash, into the machine. So we also observe that sometimes we visit the ATM machine and the shutter is closed. The guard tell us that the that vehicle has arrived from the bank and physically they are uploading the money. So maybe we have to wait for half an hour, and if it is happening 3 times in a day, then 1.5 hours is wasted for inputting the cash into the ATM machine and for maintenance. So then in that case, we'll say that the ATM is actually availability is 100% because 24 hours ATM machine is available, but reliability is 22.5 hours. Say roughly it is 90% because for 1.5 hour we can't use the ATM machine. So that is the difference between the availability and reliability. So uh, cloud computing system by default it is 100 24/7 365 day it is available, and it is also reliable. The chances of system not performing is hardly in seconds. When you talk about, say, the cloud system like Google or Amazon or Windows Azure, their reliability is near about 99.99%. So all this thing, how this to achieve these properties, they achieve this property through fault tolerance systems. So they have fault tolerance system which will identify the fault and recover the fault immediately. So what is a fault tolerance system? It is the property that enables the system to continue operating properly in the event of failure of some of its component. So cloud computing need to be a fault tolerant. Meaning of fault tolerant is that even if out of the complete cloud system, if suppose 10% of the system is not performing, but still given the event of that failure of some 10% component, the cloud should be able to provide delivery. Meaning is that normally what happens that in a standalone system or in a client server, suppose your server get failure, then in a local area network of your college, assuming that suppose 50 computers are connected to a server, and that server fails down because of any hardware or software or power failure, then those connected 50 clients, they cannot access anything from the server. So it means that this system is not a fault tolerant. If the server that component is failed, the 50 computer cannot connect with the server, and then no work can be conducted. But this is not a case in a cloud. Have you heard somewhere that Google Cloud is not working from last 8 days, or Amazon is not working from last 1 hour? It never happens, because the cloud computing system is a fault tolerant. Even if some components are not working, so they have a parallel servers. Suppose one server get failure, the Google or Amazon or Windows Azure switch over to the next server. If that next server failed down, it will switch over the next to next server. So they are maintaining a list of parallel servers or a farm of servers where hundreds and thousands of servers are maintained. And then they provide the, even if some of the servers got failed, the rest of the servers can maintain. So parallelly, every server has to maintain the redundant copy of data. Meaning is that suppose when main server is upgraded, suppose data is modified in main server, parallel it will be modified in the rest of the secondary servers. Now in that case, what happens that even if the primary server fails, the cloud computing never stops. It is working from the secondary servers. So that is the meaning of fault tolerant system, and cloud is a fault tolerant system. Then the most important issue in the cloud computing is the system security. Basically, my PhD was related to the cloud storage security domain, because now there are two type of cloud computing system. One is called the single cloud computing system, and another is multi cloud computing system. So in a single cloud, whole data is available in a one cloud, and in multi-cloud, for example, in single cloud system of my college whole data may be available only in Google Cloud. But suppose I went for a multi-cloud, then it may be possible that my one third data is available in Google Cloud, remaining one third will be available in Amazon Cloud, and then remaining one third will be available in Windows Azure Cloud. Why this is done? Because initially, when the cloud computing was launched in the decade of say 2010 to 2012-13, at that time people were hesitant to move to the cloud computing system. Many organizations, they say that no, we will maintain our local servers, but we don't want to hire for cloud computing. Why? That issue was they were hesitant to upload the data because they were not sure about the security of the data. you know Nowadays, when we are working in a area of data science and machine learning and artificial intelligence, the what is most important is data. Everything is data. It is about the story of data. So whole world is working on the data. We also know that what happened in a COVID period. In a COVID period, with the help of internet and with the help of data, we will be able to access everything. Either it is our insurance systems, or our banking system, or our entertainment systems, OTT channels, and all these things. What is that? That is nothing but it is a utility computing. It is providing the services as per the need of the end user. And then in that case, uh, everything was going on in a during a COVID period. But that was normal thing. If I am showing a particular channel, say suppose we are watching the Kapil Sharma show. So showing the Kapil Sharma show on one channel or hundreds of channel, it doesn't make any difference. But assuming that suppose DRDO or ISRO want to store the data in a particular cloud. So DRDO and ISRO, they are working in the defense sector, and it is related to the security of a nation. And suppose they hire the Amazon or Google and Windows, all these three are American companies. It may be possible that the data may be shared by Google or Amazon to the US government, and it may be a national threat for the government of India. So same thing, not only for the security of the government data like military data or defense data or space science data of ISRO. Even if the financial organization like banking or insurance, they were hesitant. So security is the most important issue in the cloud computing. So it refers now, so in security, it refers to the broad set of policies, technologies, and controls deployed to protect the data, application, and associated infrastructure of cloud computing. So giving username and password is a simple way of security. But in cloud computing, you might have studied the cryptography and steganography, which is used for encryption, decryption. So cloud computing also uses the cryptography and steganography, that is encryption, decryption, and hiding the information, and that is used to maintain the security of cloud computing. So securing the data of a client is the most important challenge, and still it is not 100% achievable. There are many issues and there are many solutions, but it is not 100% stable. So important security and privacy issues are data protection. One is that the one is a need of every client. Suppose uh, we want to store our data. For example, suppose HRDC college ask this 100 institution that we will provide you the training, but you provide the details of your faculty members. Now it may be include a personal detail, academic details, and their qualification. So all this data that college needs, that this data should be protected and should be maintained in a secure manner with HRDC. They should not sell it. We also know that many times we get a call related to loan and all this thing. Then we ask that fellow, the salesperson over the mobile, that how come you get your data? He said that I got from vertical agency. So there are agency who sells off the data, and data is more important. So most important is that data needs a protection. Then another thing is identity management. Every enterprise will have its own identity management system to control the access to information and computing resources. For example, now there are 100 colleges which will be connected with HRDC Nagpur cloud server. Then in that case, this HRDC must has to provide identity management. For example, every college, 100 college will get 100 username and password. Using that username and password, the principal of that college or the faculty members, they can log in to HRDC cloud server and can get a download or upload the resources. So in which they have to provide their identity that I am the original user. For example, one private college like my private college, like Polity Engineering College, want to access the HRDC data. So through the username and password provided by HRDC, I have to prove my identity that I am authorized and I am an official user of Polity College because I am signing with the principal login provided by HRDC. So that comes under the identity management. Then application security. Another issue is that whatever applications you are uploading, for example, if one particular organization like say TCS or SCL, they want to execute the data, and suppose there are four teams uh, on that particular international project. Suppose the four teams, that is a team of Delhi, team of Mumbai, team of Chennai, and team of Calcutta. These four teams of TCS, suppose they want to work on the four various modules, and these modules are interconnected. And for this module, they will develop the application and they will upload on the TCS cloud server. Now, some applications are uploaded by Chennai server, some application by Calcutta team, some by and Mumbai, some by Delhi team. So all these applications need to be secure. So that is also the important thing. And privacy means it is that it provides the ensure that all critical data are masked and that only authorized users have access to that. So normally privacy is maintained with the help of cryptography. That is, whenever you are uploading the data in a cloud, you don't upload it in a plain format. You encrypt the data so that only when you decrypt the data, then only the people will be able to use that one. Even the clouds, for example, the common example of privacy is you might every day we are using the WhatsApp. So whenever we create a group with the WhatsApp give the message that this group, whatever the data you're sharing, that is protected with the end-to-end encryptions. So that type of message comes when you start a group with someone else. So end-to-end encryption meaning end-to-end encryption meaning is that whatever data I am typing in a group that in a WhatsApp from my mobile, that will be encrypted by WhatsApp, and in encrypted format it will reach to the WhatsApp server. And then whenever my friend opens his WhatsApp and open his group, that data will be decrypted and he will able to see my message. So it means that other than me and my other members in a group, even the WhatsApp user or WhatsApp server doesn't know what you are typing in that one. That is a end-to-end encryption. So this end-to-end encryption helps this type of privacy. Then cloud also provide one of the important services that is called manageability. Cloud systems are manageable, means uh, you can easily manage the system from anywhere sitting. For example, suppose as we assume that Dr. Dharmik, she is handling the cloud system of HRDC for a training purpose. Currently, she is located in Nagpur, but suppose next week she got a chance to move to Delhi, and then she is available in Delhi. But suppose any issues comes, then she should be able to manage the resources by sitting in Delhi just by connecting through the internet and connecting to the cloud server of HRDC Nagpur. So that is a use of manageability. Then another property cloud should have that is called as interoperability. It is a property of a product or a system whose interface are completely understood to work with the other product system present or future without any restricted access or implementation. Meaning is that, for example, the cloud computing should be able to provide interoperability, operating in a different environment. For example, we know that if I'm using a one particular Windows server in my LAN in my college lab, then all the data I have to upload in the Windows format, and I can only use Windows application on that one. But suppose in another lab, I have in another lab I have this Linux server, then all Windows application I cannot be executed on a Linux server. And suppose I connect my Windows server and Linux server together, but still Linux application cannot be executed on Windows server and Windows application cannot be executed on a Linux server. Meaning is that Linux and Windows are not interoperable. But in cloud computing, it is the architecture is designed in such a way that I may a TCS Nagpur may upload for one same project. It may upload 50% of data in a Google Cloud and the remaining 50% of data in Amazon Cloud. And suppose that application need 100% of data, that application will take 50% from Google and 50% from Amazon and will give it to the end user. End user feels that everything is coming from uh, the Amazon, everything is coming from TCS, but it is interoperable. So meaning is that Google Cloud can operate with the Amazon Cloud can operate with the Google Cloud. So that is a property of a cloud computing, interoperability. So these properties are achieved with the system control automation, system state monitoring. Now there are four functional area where cloud can work. That is called as a self configuration, self healing, self optimization, self protection. Okay, but that is not an important thing. Another thing is which a cloud provide. It is cloud provides us with the system monitor. You know, you might have used, there is a one system monitor in Windows also. Suppose we want to check how much of processor currently on my laptop, suppose I'm working and suppose I get stuck up if I open many of the application, then how can I check? Then I will go to the configuration, Windows configuration module, and I will select the application called system monitor. Then on my laptop it will show me graphically out of 100% my CPU is currently 99% use, and out of 8 GB of RAM my RAM is around 95% use. So then I will come to know that my CPU is heavily used and my RAM is heavily used. So I can delete my application so that my CPU uses and my uh, memory uses are reduced, and I should not get hang up while executing my application. So that is a normal system monitor. In the same way, cloud provide a system monitoring software to the user. Meaning is that, for example, this out of suppose the people who are joined here, suppose you are the representative from your college who is paying to the HRDC Nagpur for getting a trained resources, for getting a training, online training on various technological areas. Now, as per the SLA, service level agreement signed by the HRDC Nagpur and your college might have paid certain amount for a period of next 1 year. Now, suppose you are a system administrator suppose you are a system administrator for this purpose of connecting the your college people for a training with HRDC. When you log in as a system administrator, you can check what is a physical and virtual hardware set. For example, HRDC Nagpur can provide you one physical server for storing the data related to your faculty members of your college and say uh, related to the training resources which you want to utilize. And then those training resources can be accessed through that physical server by your faculty members and your students. Suppose you are situating in say Telangana. So Telangana College System Administrator can use the cloud system monitor to check what is the whether my physical server is fully occupied or not, whether my virtual hardware is fully occupied or not. Then what is resource performance matrix? How much is my CPU is utilized? How much my memory is utilized? How much my processor is utilized? And other things. I can check a network access patterns. I can check system logs, and I can find out when the system was working properly, when it was not working properly. And also it provides the billing system. So when you log in as a system administrator account, you will come to know that throughout the 365 day, HRDC server is not billing you equally. Suppose you are using in the whenever your semester is going on, say month of odd semester, July, August, September, October, during that period heavily your students and faculty members are using HRDC training cloud. So then it will be billed more. But in the month of November and December, suppose you have exams and winter vacation, so the uses from faculty and student is very less. So in that case the billing is less, everything can be done. So that is a way it helps us to go with the pay as you go model. So billing system already have explained you. Users pay as many as they used. cloud provider must determine the list of service uses price. So cloud service provider, if you log in, if you go to, for example, here, many of you have gone through that. I will try to check whether I can show you. Suppose if you go to Amazon, this is Amazon website for Amazon Web Services, AWS Cloud. So then it offers this thing, type of offers, meaning is that Amazon provide you the free trials. You can use the cloud free for some part. Then Amazon also provide 12-month free cloud services, then always free cloud services. And then, so this is what the pricing details which Amazon provides you. So for example, in free tier, how much you get 750 Amazon EC2. It is the one storage cloud. EC2 is one of the storage cloud. So it will provide 750 hours per month. It will provide 1 million Lambda free requests per month. It will provide compute. This is another compute cloud. So light sale for 750 hours. So it has mentioned what are the resources, compute resources from EC2, Lambda, light cell, then elastic container registry, elastic load balancing, how much it will be provided for that one. So these are the resources, these are the product category which you can choose. So you can choose either it is a free cloud services or featured one. If you choose featured one, it will show you only the paid one or commercial one. And then you can check out what resources you want from Amazon, whether you want it for data analytics, whether you want for computing resources, whether you want only storage containers, whether you want database service, whether you want developer tools, software tools, whether you want game technologies, Internet of Things, machine learning resources, media services, migration, robotics, for what security, for what type of services you want, you can select accordingly. That type of product will be provided by the AWS. Then another characteristic is the performance and optimization. That cloud provides the performance using with the help of parallel computing, load balancing, and job scheduling. Being optimization means it is a middle approach between minimization and maximization. Some services the users should be maximized, but the resources users should be minimized. So that is optimization. Now, cloud supports better performance and better optimization with the help of these three type things. One is with the use of parallel computing, one with the use of load balancing, and one with the help of job scheduling. So, parallel processing, as we know, parallel processing is a form of computation in which many calculations are carried out simultaneously, operating on the principle that large problem can often be divided into smaller ones, which are then solved concurrently. Meaning is that you might have studied this type of NP hard problems and all these things. For example, when ISRO gets the data from satellites, ISRO launches various satellites every year. For example, suppose there is a ISRO satellites which provides a huge amount of weather information data. So if you check out this ISRO website, you will come to know that a single satellite provides hundreds of terabytes of data. I am not saying single, hundreds of terabyte of data every hour. So meaning is that multiplied by 24 hours within a one day, the satellite provides to the ISRO ground station thousands of terabyte of data. Now, out of these thousands of terabyte of data, what is to be extracted? ISRO has to work upon this one, and it has to extract whether any type of tsunami type of situation is going to happen, whether there should be a heavy monsoon or whether there should be a heavy storm coming from the Arabian Sea and all this thing. Now that cannot be checked on a single server. So what ISRO does, ISRO will divide that huge thousands of terabyte of data which is received into say 10 chunks, and it will execute those 10 chunks of data parallelly on 10 supercomputer which is installed in say suppose that ISRO ground center. So immediately in parallel processing, ISRO will get the result that what type of situation is coming near to sea face area. So parallel processing can happen at a bit level, it can happen at instruction level, it can happen at data level, it can happen at a task level. So there are multiple approaches of in a cloud. So like Google Cloud and Amazon Cloud, they provide hardware-based parallel processing and software-based parallel processing. In hardware-based parallel processing, in the Google data center or in Amazon data center, there are many cloud companies which are starting. Recently, the Microsoft has decided to open more than 100 data center in India. So nowadays, most of the companies they are coming to the India for starting their data center. In a data center is a huge area which consisting of this type of farm of servers as shown in this figure. So thousands of servers are located within a one data center. So companies employ multi-core computer, meaning is that normally what PC we are using in our laptop, we come up with a 2-core processor or 4-core processor or 8-core processor, meaning is that there are either 2 processor or 4 processor or 8 processor on our laptop which we purchase. But these are multi-core, means there are 100 cores or 1000 processors are working parallelly. Symmetric multiprocessor is there, vector processing is there, distributed computing. By using of all these applications, parallel processing can be done at a hardware level. Also, there are certain parallel programming languages by which you can implement the parallel processing at the software level. Then there is another good concept. This what these topics which I am discussing, these are the various good topics related to the PhD domain. Suppose you want to complete your PhD in a cloud computing environment like me. So then parallel processing environment in a cloud, that can be one area. Security is one area. Load balancing is one area. Job scheduling is also one area. So these are the narrow domains which you can choose to work upon, because cloud is a very big terminology. So what is the load balancing as shown here? Here, if you see that fat man who is sitting in a boat, because of his weight, the boat is going down. So there is a heavy load on the right hand side, therefore the boat is sinks down. But there is a no load, nobody seating on the left hand side, so that is affecting the performance of that boat. But now how to improve upon that one? So we can ask another fellow to sit on the left hand side, and then the balancing can be done. So load balancing is that normally what happened, that many times we found that suppose there are 10 servers and the Google is uploading the data on those 10 servers. It may be like, take an example of stock market, Bombay stock market, or say uh, National Stock Exchange, or say LIC of India servers. So it may come to know that Bombay Stock Exchange or LIC may come to know that out of the 10 server, initial 5 servers are 100% occupied, but rest of the 5 servers are occupied less than 20%. So that is not a load balancing. So what load balancing does, that load balancing continuously checks the different type of resources. What is resources? So here it means that load balancing is a technique to distribute the workload evenly across 2 or more computers, network links, CPU, hard drives, other resources, in order to get optimal resource utilization, maximum throughput, minimize response time, and avoid overload. So if you want to get 100% optimal utilization of resources, if you want to maximize your throughput, if you want to minimize your response time, that is maximization and minimization means optimization, and if you want to avoid the overloading of your server, then in that case load balancing is the right option. So in load balancing, it will check load balancing is also at a software level or a hardware level. Every cloud computing uh, service provider like Google or Amazon, they are into load balancing. So what they are continuously checking at the background end, how much is their server. Suppose out of the 2 server, one server is 90%, uh, one server, the capacity of one server is exhausted till 90%, and another server is hardly 10% used. So it is a mismatch. So then what can be done? With the help of load balancing software, then 50% of load of first server can be transferred to another server. Now then the first server will be busy 40% of time, and second server will be busy 60% of time. So that is a load balancing. Load balancing is used to improve the utilization of resources, to improve the performance of system, and to improve the efficiency of the energy, because these cloud data centers require huge amount of energy. And suppose all the servers are occupied, huge amount of electricity will be required for that one. But if you manage your server instead of keeping some servers heavily loaded and some server under load, if you have a load balancing, then energy efficiency will also be improved. Job scheduling is nothing but scheduling of the jobs, basic thing. Okay. Then coming to the next topic, so these are the various type of the properties which we have seen that cloud computing is offering, and that's why it's more popular. Now we'll come to the why people are using the preferring cloud computing rather than a client server system, or rather than the another type of the distributed system. So these are certain benefits from a cloud computing. For the market and enterprises, it is help to reduce the initial investment, it helps to reduce the capital expenditure, it helps to improve the industrial specialization and improve the service utilization. For the end user and individual like you and me, it helps us to reduce the local computing power, reduces the local storage power, and it supports the variety of thin clients devices in a daily life. Now, what is that? Reduce the initial investment. What does cloud computing offers? How does it reduce that? In a traditional environment like a client server system, what is enterprise take the risk? For example, suppose TCS Nagpur, TCS Nagpur has to uh, get the data, and then in that case, suppose it needs to suppose it needs to uh, for one particular project, TCS Nagpur required 10 servers in a parallel mode, and they required around 100 terabyte of memory and all and gaming architecture like a GPU type of devices. Now, for this one, it has to invest that type of resource. It has to purchase those type of high-end servers with high-end maybe supercomputer. So investment is more. But in the cloud computing, you don't have. For example, TCS Nagpur, they want certain machine learning option. They want for machine learning projects, for certain gaming related projects, they want the GPU. So they can take those resources as a pay as you go model from a Google server. So in that case, investment risk is totally zero for a TCS. What TCS has to do, TCS has to pay to the Google, and according to their projects related to gaming, the Google will provide a very high-end GPU enabled server from the Google, and they can upload the data, they can execute their gaming applications and execute the things. Infrastructure. Now, in a traditional environment, TCS has to locate that much space in TCS Nagpur and has to maintain a cooling storage, that is air condition required, has to maintain huge amount of system administrator and the team of hardware specialist for that one. So they have to pay to those people, they have to invest the infrastructure, investment in infrastructure is their investment into uh, computing resources and investment for paying the human resources. But whereas with the cloud, Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud, they owns the infrastructure. So TCS doesn't want to install anything, and then in that case, everything will be beared by the Amazon. Then in traditional way for time duration, uh, deployment time in a traditional environment, for suppose TCS want to have this type of gaming architecture based project and it has to install that environment, then deployment time is very heavy. But whereas in the cloud, it is very fast. Capital expenditure. So taking the same example of TCS, the it needs to own its own IT department. Whereas if suppose TCS go with the Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud, everything will be taken care by Google or Amazon. So business focus is reduced. TCS will not focus on maintaining the IT infrastructure and maintaining the gaming related infrastructure for that one. They will focus on their own business of connecting with the client and developing the application. But execution of the resources, that hardware and software resources related to gaming projects, that will be taken care by the Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud. Then payment. In a traditional way, TCS has to install this gaming software, then gaming hardware, gaming servers, and it has to pay for all the investment and human resources. But here, in a cloud computing, the everything is paid by the enterprise. Just a minute. Sorry, I just got connected. There was some urgent call. Okay, so then it also another benefit is improves the industrial specialization. What does cloud computing achieves? Collaboration. Now, in a traditional way, enterprise has to take care of everything. But in cloud computing, enterprise focus on its own business. So it can collaborate with more client for that one. Management, it's difficult to manage the traditional infrastructure if TCS want to execute for a gaming related projects. But here, the cloud will provide professional control and then it will be taken care by the cloud. So then also it improves the resource utilization. How the cloud computing improves the resource utilization? In a traditional environment, IT resource utilization, IT resource underutilized most of the times. For example, meaning is that we see that in many of our colleges, uh, we have, this is a biggest example of poor resource utilization. We have huge amount of server and we install maybe say 500 computer in our college, like in engineering colleges as per the AICTE norms, around 500 to 700 computers are required if it is having 4 to 5 branches as per their norms. Now, all these computers comes with the RAM, all this computer comes with the local hard disk. But if you see, the utilization is hardly 50%. 6 months, 3 months in odd semester, 3 months in even semester, it is used. So remaining period, remaining 180 days, those labs are totally unoccupied because either there is a summer or winter vacation or university exam is going on. Faculty computer, at least faculty computers are used at the faculty end, but the labs, they are hardly used for a 50% of time. Now, because of this one, what happened? It is a poor resource utilization. Now, instead of that, suppose a college want to go with the cloud, then college will only pay for a 6 month, and so utilization of IT resources improved. Power consumption. Now, in a traditional resources, for example, if you go to a particular local organization, in that case, uh, suppose every organization has its own infrastructure, then it will be used wastage of power and cooling system. Just like power consumption, and in cloud computing, it is a shared globally. Uh, so all servers are located globally. It is similar to the analogous. I can give the example of uh, going with a metro and going with your own car. Suppose 100 passengers are moving in a Delhi metro from one place to another place. Now only power consumption is what is required for a one metro trip. But suppose those 100 people want to go by their own cars, so that will be the wastage of petrol, diesel, and waste. It is also affecting the environment because of the emission of CO2. So in the same way, in a traditional way, power consumption is more and cooling system requires so that for that one. But in a cloud environment, that power consumption is maintained in a balanced way. Then another advantage of this one, cloud computing is reduces the local computing power. So in a traditional way, hardware requirement, what is a traditional way for related to hardware requirement, user needs to buy powerful hardware. But in a cloud computing environment, only basic hardware to connect to the internet is required. For example, suppose my college, I want to use a cloud computing of a Google to do my, say, suppose we develop a one software. Now, giving an example, for my college, we have purchased, I'm also leading the MIS system, Management Information System of my college. So initially we were having a local server, but then as considering the huge amount of data, and the problem with the local server was that during a Saturday, Sunday, any management person, any HOD, suppose they want to access the data, they couldn't because the whole data was in a local server and it was not connected through internet. But then we went for a one cloud-based management information system. Now, initially, our server investment was very huge. We have to maintain a database server, web server, and a backup server for maintaining the examination results and the faculty and student data. But now everything is stored on that cloud service, whatever cloud which is offered by that cloud service provider who is providing us the MIS. So what we need hardly basic laptops or basic personal computer with the internet connection, and we are just logging to their system, and whole of data like for attendance management system, for examination management, for library management, for hostel management, everything is stored on that cloud. So hardware requirement of our college has reduced, and those servers are totally free, so those we can use for other purpose. Software requirement, now in the same 2 years back, whatever the software which were required either for database Oracle, a commercial version, or we will be requiring for the another type of software like Windows, uh, naturally Windows operating system, the Microsoft charge for those Windows application. And suppose I want to install Visual Basic or a .NET environment or a developer environment, so suppose I need hundreds of applications. So in that case, suppose all these 100 applications are not open source, maybe out of these 100, 70 applications are open source, but 30 applications like Oracle uh, is or Windows, suppose it is a paid version, then my college has to pay for the 30 application that may goes into 50 lakhs or more than 1 crore per year for installing those software, and then we have to provide those services to the user. But now we don't have to purchase those software, everything will be purchased by the Google or Amazon, and no local installation is required. What is required, we will upload our code which is we develop in a vb dot environment, and it will be executed on a cloud server. So Google or Amazon will take care of all the software licenses, so it will improve my local, I don't have to install locally, the global copy will be available in an Amazon server or a Google server, so my local installation time and software requirement will be reduced. Portability, as I mentioned, the traditional system is hard to portable, meaning is that suppose on my government holiday my principal or my director want to access the data, he was not able to access the data. Nowadays it is natively portable because we are on a cloud based management information system. So even if my principal is out of India or my director is in Delhi at this time, and he want to check the today's attendance, he can log in from his mobile and he can get. That is the power of cloud computing, because my whole data is available in a cloud, so anybody can access the data at any time. Then another advantage is it reduces the local storage power. Then what does cloud computing achieves? Cloud computing achieves the computing power and small device intelligence. Now we'll move to the last portion of this session, that is the service model. That is also another thing. What type of service models and deployments model a cloud is using, this is also important topic. So before going that, we'll just go through the simple analogy. For example, suppose you just want to move to a city and you're looking for a place to live. Now there are multiple options for you. What is your choice? One is, suppose I'm moving to Mumbai, then the choice are with me. Suppose I have enough money, I will build my own house, I will purchase one particular flat or one particular bungalow in that area where I want to live, and I can live in that one. That is one option. Another option is I can buy an empty house, a house which is totally empty. A third option is with me, I can live in a hotel. For example, if I want to build a new house, then I need, it is a very long time consuming task. I need huge amount of resources, huge amount of time has to be paid for that one. So that is a very difficult choice. Now, suppose another, if I buy an empty house, then I can customize some part of house. I can customize interior designing for my bedroom, for my living room, for my kitchen, and but it will not change the original architecture. The original flat will look like it is in, from outside my building will look like. Suppose if it is an old building, it will look like. Internally, I may make it very posh with spending money for interior designing. But from outside, whenever some of my relative came and he doesn't come in my house, and he is watching my building from outside on the road, he will see that, oh my god, this fellow is living in a very old building. So I cannot change the original architecture. But suppose I go for a hotel room. Suppose I need the I just to stay in Mumbai for 1 month. Then instead of buying a particular flat or living in a flat, I may offer for a 1 month stay in Hotel Taj or Hotel Oberoi. then in that case, this is a very good idea, because living in a hotel would be a good idea if only thing you want to care to enjoy your life. There is nothing, because everything will be provided, just like we purchase. Nowadays, there is a culture coming up in metro city like Pune and Hyderabad. For IT companies, they are offering a fully furnished house. You suppose you are moving from one place, from Hyderabad to Pune, by the change of your job, then you don't have to carry your luggage like your TV, your beds or your cupboards. So you have to just carry your clothes and your valuables and yourself and your family. The rest of the thing will be provided in a furnished home. So it is always a better option. So now, translating this analogy to the cloud computing, we have a three type of things. That is a three type of service model which we want to study. That is, one is called as a EAS model, infrastructure as a service model. Another is called PaaS model, that is a platform as a service model. And third one is the SaaS model, that is a software as a service model. So now, similar to the building a new house in a previous analogy, we you can rent some virtualized infrastructure and build up your own IT system along with the resources. So ER service is that a solution which is similar to building a new house. What we can do, we can hire some of the virtualized infrastructure and we can build up our own system using that one. Now, similar to the buying an empty house is like that. Suppose I want to develop my own software for my in a .NET environment, in ASP.NET or C#.NET environment, then I can take a platform as a service from a Google or Amazon. Then it will provide me with related hardware and software, and I don't have to manage. So I'm getting an empty house, but I can manage my application on that one. So that is a platform as a service. And now, similar to the living in a hotel in a previous analogy, we are using the software as a service model, that is the SaaS model. So we'll move ahead with that one. So basically, the SaaS model is at the application layer. These are the three models which is used. So there are three type of different users who are using that one. The SaaS model is always at the top. The PaaS model, software as a system, software as a service, this is at the top end. The platform as a service, uh, this is at the middle end, and infrastructure as a service, this is at the bottom end. So who is using this is at for executing the application, we need a SaaS uh, level, and for platform is provided by the PaaS level, and the hardware and software infrastructure is provided by the EAS level. So for example, whenever we are using say Google, simple example, everyone have used Google Doc. So Google Doc is what, when I log into my browser and open a Google Doc, when I log in my Google account, Google will provide me many applications, and I can open a Google Doc and I can type the data, I can upload my data in a Google document. So basically, I'm dealing with the at a SaaS level. As an end user, Google is providing me a Google Doc web application. And this is the software which is provided as a service to me. And I'm using a Google Doc through my web browser, and I'm uploading. So what SaaS can be executed on a mobile device. I can open a Google Doc on my mobile application, or I can open it on a web browser. Both way. It is used for general application. It is used for business service. Now, suppose I'm a developer and I want to develop certain application for my student information system. I want to collect my data of my 2,000 students of my college for counseling and mentoring, and I want to analyze which are the slow learners, which are the fast learners, which are the weak students, which are the bright students, as per the NAC terminology, or like that one. Now, in that case, for developing software, I need ASP.NET, I need Oracle as the backend, ASP.NET at the front end environment, and all this thing. But then a PaaS environment will help me. It will suppose I, as a developer, I will take a permission from my college. I will pay to the Amazon, and Amazon will provide me a PaaS environment in which Amazon will provide me the development tools. That is what I need. That is whatever the reporting tools I need for my counseling and mentoring software. Then whatever the other tools which I needed, like C# or ASP.NET, then it will provide me runtime environment. If I upload my code, I should be able to execute my code, whether I can get from my code, if I provide the database, whether I'm getting uh, fast learners, who are the fast learners, who are the slow learners, as per the data collected from their previous academic records. So everything that code has to be executed. The code which I'm writing at my local end in C# or ASP.NET, that has to be executed. So PaaS will also provide me runtime environment where I can upload my code, I can execute, and it will give me the error or success, whatever, according to my coding abilities. And it will also provide me the control interface where I can increase my server size, I can increase my resource size, I can decrease. For example, currently, suppose I'm having a 500 students, I may take through my control interface, I may access a very less resources. I will ask Amazon to provide me one server. Suppose after 1 month, my total student count goes double, 1,000 students. Using a control interface at PaaS level, I can enhance my capabilities. And ER systems, so what are the tasks? Resource management, fault tolerance, load balancing, and dynamic provisioning. These are the 4 tasks which is done at the PaaS level. What is ERs? ERs help us for, that is, infrastructure as a service. For example, mostly so end users are working like you and me who are working at a SaaS level. The developers community are working at a PaaS level, and the hardware architecture or the solution architect, these hardware people, they are working at the ES level. For example, suppose my college hardware administrator or a system administrator, suppose he is provided with the login, so then he will take care of infrastructure as service management. In infrastructure as service, it will manage the server infrastructure, storage infrastructure, memory infrastructure, processor infrastructure, all these things, as I mentioned here: network, storage, IO devices, and utilization. So these are the example of this one, like Amazon EC2, Eucalyptus, Open Nebula. These are the infrastructure as a service. So when you hire Amazon EC2, you don't have to purchase your server. Eucalyptus is open, and Open Nebula, these are open service system. So you don't have to purchase hardware for that one. You can hire the services and you can use the infrastructure of Amazon or Open Nebula for your application. So here at this level, Amazon EC2 will provide you the storage system, they will provide you the network devices, they will provide you the computing system. And through a virtualization layer, you are connecting from your machine in India with the Amazon EC2 server in USA. For that one, the virtualization is used, but that is beyond our scope for this moment. Then another one is a platform as a service. As an example, I can give you Microsoft Windows Azure. This is an example of platform as a service model. Google App Engine, then Hadoop. Some of you might have used Hadoop. Hadoop is a distributed database system. So Hadoop provides you the platform by which you can write down the code related to database and execute that code. Google App Engine also, it is a platform where you can develop your app and execute those apps in a Google environment. So what this is a system in a platform as a service. Google may provide you storage resources, network resources, computing resources. Then it will provide you the programming ID. For example, Java ID is there, and you can write down the Java code in Java ID like that. Then there is an application programming interface. So Google will provide you with the IDs, with the APIs, and the development tools, whatever the programming languages and other tools which are required. And using those things, the developer can write down the code, they can develop the code, they can use the ready-made API, and then they can use the runtime environment using the resources. So this is basically used for the development purpose. Uh, the developer are using the platform as a service model. The third one is a software as a services. So whatever the Google apps which are using by you and me, like Gmail, Google Doc, Google Sites, everything, that is a software as a service. This is at the end user level. The end user like you and me, we check our mails through Gmail, we upload and download documents through Google Doc, we visit various sites through Google Sites. So these are all the example of software as service. So Google is providing all the software, email software, document software, site software as a service to us for checking our mail, document, and websites. Then Salesforce.com, which is a very good CRM, customer relationship management software. It provides a front end to the end user where they can manage their customer. So that is also the example of software as a service, iOS and etc. like that one. How it works? So like maybe you may log in through your Android mobile. I may log in through my Apple iOS. Some person may log in through his desktop machine. Some person log in through the laptop, and some person logging through high-end system. So using any of the devices, any of the end users can communicate with that one. So how you connect? You connect with the commercial platform like Google or Amazon or Windows Azure, or open source platform like Open Nebula or Eucalyptus. How you communicate with the mobile application or with the web-based application. Meaning is that when I open a Google Doc, I am opening a Google Doc web application in my browser, or I'm opening a web portal of a Google on my mobile, and then I'm connecting with those resources. So end user will communicate to the web application will communicate to the those platforms. So SaaS can be used for a general application, for business application, for scientific application, and government applications. So Web 2.0 is an example of that SaaS systems. So many of the applications like Office Suite, multimedia instant messages, these are the various applications which can be provided as a web-based application in a SaaS model. Then for business organization, ERP, then Salesforce, the SAP software, that is the ERP software, Salesforce, a popular CRM software, market trading system like stock market trading system. All these are the business application which can be executed in a SaaS level for a cloud infrastructure. Then for simulation of aerospace industry, biochemistry simulation, or DRDO or ISRO, they can use the cloud for simulating their environment as a scientific applications. And then national media system or public transportation system like a ration card system or insurance system, these are the example of government applications. Last, we will go through shortly through the deployment models. So till now we have seen that there are three type of service model, that is the IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So from a service point of view, cloud provides us infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and a software as a service. Now, if I want to deploy my data in a cloud, then cloud computing offers me four type of deployment model. I can deploy my data in a public cloud, I can deploy my data in a private cloud, I can deploy my data in a community cloud, and I can deploy my data in a hybrid cloud. So public cloud is like that one, like the cloud is publicly available. So as an end user through internet, I can connect with the Amazon cloud, or suppose TCS Nagpur or SCL Nagpur, or say another, there are 10 IT companies, they can also access to the Google cloud. So public cloud is open to the public. It is a The cloud infrastructure is made available to the general public or a large industry group, and it is owned by an organization selling the cloud industries. So example of the public cloud is Amazon cloud, or Google Cloud, or Windows Azure. It is publicly available. It is a multi-tenant system. So multiple tenants, like suppose 10 organizations are using the Google Cloud, meaning is that it is a 10 tenant system. 10 tenants are situating, are provided a space on a Google Cloud. So private cloud is that, for example, we're talking about DRDO and ISRO. These are the defense organization. So maybe banks can upload, like colleges can upload the data. The data of college is not that much secure. But when we talk about ISRO and DRDO, that is very crucial data of national security. So ISRO and DRDO may not agree that we want to upload the data in a public cloud like Google, Amazon, which may sell the data to the US government. If you remember that last time, the Google founder and the Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, in some cases they have accepted in the US federal court that yes, as per the government need, Google and Facebook are giving the data to the US government. Meaning is that that is a breach on a data privacy. So in a public cloud, your data is not safe. If you are uploading a data, a DRDO uploading a data on Google, there is a chance that the Google may share this with Americans or with Russians. But in a private, so therefore the another deployment model available for such type of crucial network is DRDO can have its own private cloud, or ISRO can have its own private cloud. So in that case, this cloud infrastructure is operated solely for organization. Meaning is that suppose DRDO Hyderabad want to upload the data, meaning is that the cloud will be maintained in a DRDO Hyderabad campus, and it will be physically secured and globally secured, because nobody other than DRDO authorized people can access that data. So that is a private cloud. So private cloud is also referred as internal cloud because it is internally with the DRDO Hyderabad, or it is also called as on-premise cloud because this cloud is available on the premises of that organization. So if we see that infrastructure point of view, the public cloud environment is homogeneous, but private cloud is heterogeneous. And resource model in a public cloud, the resources are shared. Meaning is that suppose 100 colleges are sharing the HRDC public cloud, then it means that everybody is sharing the HRDC resources, and 100 tenants are available. So it is a multi-tenant model. While, for example, suppose one college may pay more to HRDC and take they will have their own private cloud which is connected with the HRDC. When resources are dedicated only for that cloud, it will not be shared by remaining 99 colleges. In cost model, public cloud, we need very less operational expense, means capital expenses like purchasing hardware, software, network resources, that is not required. Only resources or expenses are required for operation. So public cloud major cost is for operation, but there is no cost for capital investment. Whereas in private cloud, the cost model major cost is on capital expenditure, because in private cloud, organization like DRDO Hyderabad has to purchase the supercomputer, the network resources, the storage servers, sort of things for their premises. So in economy model, it is used for large economy of scale, and private cloud used for end-to-end control. There is also third cloud, which is called as a community cloud. For example, community cloud is used for a specific community. Here I have shown this one. For example, there is a bank. Suppose all type of nationalist bank, they come together and they say that we are operating on the same type of platform, so we may create one server for. So government of India may take a decision that now all the nationalized bank will communicate with each other through a cloud, but that cloud will be used only for a banking purpose. It will not be used for insurance company. So that is a community cloud for a banking community. Suppose all the government of India someday decide that all the private companies and nationalized company in insurance domain like LIC or Oriental Insurance and all these things, they should be communicated each other through the cloud, then that will become a community cloud for a insurance community. So depending upon that community, it can be a education cloud. For example, in our purpose, some clouds are shared by like MIT University USA. They have a cloud and it can be used. They have provided their all resources, and you people across the globe, they can connect with the MIT cloud and download those technical resources. So that is the education cloud. So community cloud is as per that use. The last cloud is a hybrid cloud. It is a hybrid cloud. It is a infrastructure. It is a composition of two or more cloud. Meaning is that when you combine private and public cloud together, or public and community together, or private and community together, it will be called as a hybrid cloud. So depending upon the need, we may have to use together private and public, or private and community sort of things. So this is a cloud ecosystem. So we can say that this is the last two slides. So we can say that in a cloud, there are four type of cloud deployment model. You can deploy the data privately in a private cloud at your premises. You can deploy the data in a public cloud like Amazon or Google or Windows Azure. You can have community cloud if you're working on one specific application like banking or insurance or education. Or if you are working on many applications like on banking and insurance parallelly, you can have some hybrid cloud. So basically, we're working at three service level: software as a service. So Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, Google Apps is an example of that one. Then platform as a service: Azure, IBM, Hadoop. They provide various platforms where developers can develop their application. And then Sun Microsystem, Amazon Web Services, Beta, Yucata System. These are the infrastructure as a services which they provide the storage, network, and the software and memory resources as an infrastructure to the client. So lastly, uh, what we can say, the advantages of cloud is it lowers the costing of your computer hardware. It improves your performance. It reduces the cost of software. It helps for instant software updates. Meaning is that suppose Microsoft comes with the new operating system, then it will be uploaded immediately. You will get latest version of Microsoft Windows, say Windows 12. Suppose Microsoft currently we are using Windows 11, but suppose today Microsoft launched Windows 12. So in your college has to purchase the Windows 12 software install. That will take months of time. But if you are having an Amazon cloud, Amazon will today itself will provide the latest version Windows 12. So software updates are easily available. It improves the document format compatibility. It helps for unlimited storage capacity. it helps for maintaining the latest version. It helps for device independence, and all these things are. But there are some drawbacks of the cloud computing. The important drawback is that it requires a constant internet connection, because cloud is available globally, and if you want to connect from anywhere, anytime, then in that case you require a very good internet connection. But suppose you are currently moving out with your family for a trip, and you are in particular Himalayan valleys, then in that case, if you are not connected with the internet, you cannot connect with your office cloud. Does not work well with the low speed connection. It needs very high speed internet connection. And even if it works, you may not get some features, and the process will be very slow. Another thing is, store data may not be secure, or it may be lost. So there are three drawbacks. You need a very good internet connection. The security cannot be guaranteed 100%, and your data may be lost. Okay. That's all. Thanks from my side. Any questions?
Thank you so much, sir, for your overall session on cloud computing. Friends, if you have any question, feel free to ask. You can ask in Hindi, Marathi, English, in any language. No questions? No questions का मतलब सब कुछ समझा है या तो कुछ भी नहीं समझा है?
Anything is possible.
Or any feedback from your side? You can give your
Doctor,
feedback also.
Dr. Meena want to ask something.
यस सर, यस सर।
Yes, ma'am.
मुझे पूछना था कि ये जो क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग है, अगर इसमें करियर करना है,
हाँ।
तो जैसे मेरे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, मुझे उनको बोलना है कि आप क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग में करियर कीजिए, तो क्या उनको बेसिक नॉलेज होना जरूरी होता है?
या ओके, गुड क्वेश्चन मैम। ऐसा होता है कि देर आर काफी सारे जॉब्स है क्लाउड में, तो डिपेंड्स। जैसे मैंने अमेजोन का आपको बताया था, तो क्लाउड के एज ए वो ईआस लेवल पे, प्लेटफॉर्म एज ए सर्विस लेवल पे डेवलपर करके काम कर सकता है। अगर वो स्टूडेंट को प्रोग्रामिंग अच्छा है, तो वो गुड क्लाउड इंजीनियर बन के क्लाउड में डेवलपमेंट में काम कर सकता है। या फिर वो ईआस लेवल पे सिस्टम, जैसे हार्डवेयर में जो स्टूडेंट रहते हैं जिनका इंटरेस्ट नेटवर्किंग हार्डवेयर में रहता है, वो ईआस लेवल पे काम कर सकते हैं। या कुछ लोग क्लाउड आर्किटेक्ट करके काम करते हैं, जिनको सिर्फ क्लाउड आर्किटेक्चर मेंटेन करना होता है। तो वैसे काफी टाइप के जॉब्स है, बट उसे बेसिक नॉलेज होना चाहिए कि क्लाउड सिस्टम कैसे वर्क करती है। जब भी उस टाइप की कंपनी में वो इंटरव्यू में जाएगा, तो उसको इतना बेसिक नॉलेज पता होना चाहिए कि क्लाउड, कौन कौन से क्लाउड अवेलेबल, जैसे एटलीस्ट जैसे अमेजोन, अगर वो फ्रेशर है तो उसका एटलीस्ट अमेजोन, गूगल और विंडोज एजूर के साइट देख के बेसिक नॉलेज अगर आ गया है, तो वो इंटरव्यू में क्रैक कर सकता है।
जी सर, जी सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
Yeah. Any more question?
हॅलो सर, मी
Yes.
डॉक्टर वंदना सिंगरू म्हणते.
हा, बोला मॅडम.
सर, हे जे क्लाउड आहे हे आपल्याला विकत घ्यावं लागतं का?
हो, नाही, काही क्लाउड सर्व्हिसेस फ्रीली अवेलेबल आहे. जसं
हां,
मी तुम्हाला आता हे दाखवतोय, हे बघा.
हां,
अमेझॉनचं हे क्लाउड आहे.
हां,
आता इथे यांनी काय म्हटलंय, अमेझॉनच्या क्लाउड मध्ये आपण काय करू शकतो, कम्प्यूट, म्हणजे मला काही डेव्हलप करताना मला ते एक्झिक्यूट करायचं आहे माझ्या
हां,
सर्व्हरचे, तर मी कम्प्यूट क्लाउड घेऊ शकतो. मला माझा डेटा स्टोअर करायचा, मी डेटाबेस घेऊ शकतो. मला डेटा फक्त स्टोअर करायचा, मी स्टोरेज घेऊ शकतो. मला
हां,
काही मोबाईल अप्लिकेशन करता पाहिजे तर मी ते घेऊ शकतो. मला मशीन लर्निंग करता पाहिजे, मी ते घेऊ शकतो. आता
हां,
यांनी ऑप्शन्स दिलेले आहे की
हां,
12 महिन्याकरता फ्री क्लाउड असतो, ट्रायल करता फ्री असतो, ऑलवेज फ्री असतो. तर जे फ्री मॉड्यूल असतं ना, त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी कसं दिलं असतं की जसं फॉर एक्झाम्पल मला ईएस प्लॅटफॉर्मवर घ्यायचा, EC2 मॉडेल, म्हणजे याच्यात माझं मी स्वतःचा हार्डवेअरची आवश्यकता नाही. मी याच्यामध्ये काय म्हणतात ते 70-50 अवर्स पर मंथ ऑफ लिनक्स, RHEL, SLES, मायक्रो, इन्स्टंट डिपेंड ऑन रिजन. म्हणजे मला एक लिनक्सचा सर्व्हर मिळेल किंवा विंडोजचा सर्व्हर मिळेल मला 750 तासाकरता 12 महिन्यामध्ये. पण एका महिन्याला 750 अवर्स. म्हणजे समजा आपण डिवाइड केलं 30ला, तर किती होतात ते 25.
25 हे
हा
दिवस. हां,
हा तर त्याच्याकरता मला मिळू शकेल तेवढं. पण समजा जर मला 750 तासापेक्षा समजा जास्त यूज असेल, तर
हां,
कॉलेजेस करता म्हणजे समजा तुमच्या कॉलेजला गुगलचं तुमच्या कॉलेजच्या मुलांना समजा तुम्ही आणि फॅकल्टीला कॉलेज, जसं माझ्या कॉलेजमध्ये माझ्या कॉलेजला ऑफिशियल मेल आयडी मी प्रोव्हाइड केलं गुगलचं. माझं मेल आयडी आहे my name@ माझ्या college.edu.in. तर अशा लॉग इनला जेव्हा तुम्ही मुलांना देता ना, तर Amazon वाले, Google वाले 1 वर्षाकरता फ्री लायसन्सिंग देतात. समजा तुम्ही पर्सनल मेलनी कनेक्ट केलं manojbrahme@gmail.com, तर मला काही ऍक्सेस मिळणार नाही. पण मी कॉलेजच्या आयडीनी समजा ऍज अ स्टुडंट किंवा ऍज अ फॅकल्टी लॉग इन केलं, तर मला या सगळ्या सर्व्हिसेस 1 वर्षाकरता फ्री मिळतात, ज्या टीचिंग प्रोफेशनल सफिशियंट आहेत. पण तुम्हाला याच्यापेक्षा जास्त घ्यायचं असतील तर मग तुम्हाला त्याच्याकरता पेमेंट करावं लागतं.
आणि सर मेनी सर्व्हर्स कंटेन्स वन क्लाउड काय?
व्हॉट?
सर्व्हर्स जे असतात, वेगवेगळे सर्व्हर्स असतात,
हा हा.
तर पुष्कळ सर्व्हर्स एकत्र येऊन क्लाउड बनतो का?
हो हो, म्हणजे नॉट सर्व्हर्स, इट इज अ फार्म ऑफ सर्व्हर्स. तुम्ही समजा फॉर एक्झाम्पल आय कॅन शो यू an example like एक मिनिट. अशा प्रकारचे क्लाउड डेटा सेंटर असतात. अशा प्रकारे याच्यामध्ये इट इज कॉल्ड फार्म ऑफ सर्व्हर, म्हणजे सर्व्हरचं शेतच आहे इथे. इथे हजारो सर्व्हर्स इथे कनेक्टेड असतात या रॅक्स मध्ये, आणि ते एकामेकाला कनेक्टेड असतात, आणि या सर्व्हर्स मध्ये आपला डेटा असतो. अशा प्रकारचे डेटा सेंटर जसे या अलग अलग कंपनी नाव दिले. इंडियामध्ये पण अशी खूप डेटा सेंटर्स आहेत, गुगलचे, अमेझॉनचे. तिथे आपल्याला ऍक्सेस नसतो, पण इथे सगळे, इथे ह्यूज अमाऊंट ऑफ सर्व्हर असतात. त्याच्यामध्ये हजारो सर्व्हर्स असतात, त्याच्यामुळे हजारो प्रोसेसर असतात. त्यांची रॅम पण कॅपॅसिटी बघितली तर ती टेराबाइट्स मध्ये जाते.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर.
हा, येस मॅम.
सर ऍक्च्युली माझं कम्प्युटर सायन्स नाही आहे, पण एक बेसिक क्वेश्चन होता. मला आता हा रिलेटेड आहे की नाही माहिती नाही टॉपिक सोबत.
हा
सर ऍक्च्युली काय होतं, जेव्हा आपण नवीन मोबाईल किंवा काही परचेस करतो, तर जे आपले फोटो वगैरे असतात की नाही आपल्या मोबाईलमध्ये,
हा
तर ते आपल्या जीमेल सोबत अटॅच होतात आणि ऍक्च्युली पूर्ण ते स्पेस नाही का पूर्ण पॅक होऊन जाते. आणि आता नवीन मेसेजेस काय येत आहे की तुम्हाला ते परचेस करावं लागेल स्टोरेज साठी. तर हे काय आहे, याचं काही सोल्युशन आहे का? हे क्लाउडशी रिलेटेड आहेत का, म्हणजे स्टोरेज डिव्हाइसेस?
नाही नाही, कसं होतं की जीमेलने तुम्हाला एक लिमिटेड कॅपॅसिटी, सुरुवातीला जीमेल हे टोटली फ्री द्यायचे. इव्हन आम्ही पण आमच्या क्लाउड कोविड पिरियडमध्ये आपल्याला, तुम्ही वापरलं असेल, सगळ्या ऑल ओव्हर वर्ल्डमध्ये गुगलनी फ्री फॅसिलिटी दिली होती. जीमीट वापरून आपण रेकॉर्डिंग पण करू शकायचं. पण प्रत्येकाने असे दररोजचे 6 तासाचं लेक्चर्स, आणि असे 100 टीचर एका कॉलेजला, असे हजारो कॉलेजेस, त्यांचा डेटा स्टोअर होऊन गुगलचे सगळे डेटा सर्व्हर्स फिल झाले होते. त्याच्यामुळे त्यांनी ती सर्व्हिस बंद केली. त्यांचं म्हणणं की तुम्ही गुगल मीट वापरू शकता, परंतु तुम्हाला समजा जर रेकॉर्डिंग करायची असेल तर तुम्हाला त्याच्याकरता पे करावं लागेल. तर अशाच प्रकारे आता जीमेल त्यांनी सुरुवातीला फोटो अप्लिकेशन करत दिलं होतं. पण आता कसं होतं, प्रत्येक युजरच आपले हजारो फोटो सुरक्षित राहावे, टू कीप देम सेफ म्हणून आपण अपलोड करतो त्यांना. तर त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांची स्पेस बरंच चालली, म्हणून त्यांनी ती काही फॅसिलिटी त्यांनी पेड केल्या. बट यू कॅन यूज, देर आर मेनी अदर जसं काही आपलं जे गुगल डॉक असतं ना, गुगल स्टोरेज, जेव्हा तुम्ही गुगल ऍक्सेस करता, एक मिनिट, फॉर एक्झाम्पल आय कॅन शो थ्रू माय गुगल लॉग इन. एक मिनिट. जसे गुगलच्या एवढ्या ऍप्लिकेशन्स आहेत, तर इथे तुम्हाला गुगल आपल्याला आपल्या इथे मेलमध्ये फोटो टाकायची आवश्यकता नाही. या गुगलच्या सगळ्या ऍप्लिकेशन हे सॉफ्टवेअर सिस्टम लेवलला आहे. आपण डॉक्युमेंट अपलोड करायला डॉक वापरू शकतो. एक्सेल साठी गुगल एक्सेल शीट वापरू शकतो. पॉवर पॉईंट साठी गुगल स्लाइड वापरू शकतो. म्हणजे आपण कुठेही 24/7 तुमच्या कम्प्युटरची आवश्यकता नाही. तुमचा वर्ड फाईल, तुमची एक्सेल फाईल किंवा तुमची पीपीटी तुम्ही कुठूनही ऍक्सेस करू शकता. पण जसं फोटोचं तुम्ही विचारलं, तर ते जीमेलला अटॅच करण्यापेक्षा तुम्ही सगळे तुमचे जे फोटो असतात किंवा व्हिडिओ असतात, ते तुम्ही ड्राईव्ह मध्ये प्रोव्हाइड करू शकता. नॉर्मली एका ड्राईव्हची कॅपॅसिटी असते अराउंड मोर दॅन 25 GB करता. तर तेवढं तुम्ही इंटरनेट स्पीड फास्ट असेल तुम्ही अपलोड करू शकता. आणि ते समजा ड्राईव्ह भरला, तर तुम्ही 4 ईमेल तुमच्या नावाने ओपन करा, तर तुम्हाला 25x4 100 GB स्पेस मिळेल.
ओके, थँक्यू सर.
या. Any more questions? Anybody want to give a feedback? Ma'am, you can ask. Dharmik ma'am.
Yes, yes. Any feedback, friends? आपके तरफ से कुछ feedback देना होगा. How was the lecture? You can give.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr.
Yes, sir.
Basically, I'm from physics. I learned a lot from regarding the cloud computing.
Yes, sir.
Earlier, I don't know, I
Yeah,
was
I
not part of
understand.
it actually, but now
Yeah.
I'm able to understand many things in the way it
Yeah.
is actually being offered. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
खूप छान झालं सर लेक्चर. खूप बेसिक कन्सेप्ट ऍक्च्युली आय एम फ्रॉम कम्प्युटर सायन्स, पण खूप साऱ्या ज्या बेसिक कन्सेप्ट होत्या त्या क्लिअर नव्हत्या, त्या खूप छान क्लिअर झालेल्या आहेत बरं का सर. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
Okay.
हॅलो सर, ऍक्च्युली लेक्चर
Yes.
खरंच खूप छान होतं. आमचं फिजिक्स आहे, पण मला ऍक्च्युली खूप बेसिक क्वेश्चन्स पडले तुमचं लेक्चर ऐकून. त्याच्यामुळे
अच्छा.
मी ते डाऊट्स वगैरे विचारले आणि एकदम बेसिक क्लिअर झालं, म्हणजे आमचं कम्प्युटर नसताना सुद्धा.
Okay. मी हे बघा, काही मी चेक करतोय ऑनलाईन आता मिळालं तर, अदरवाईज मी मॅडम सोबत शेअर करतो. तुमच्या फिजिक्स करता पण सायंटिफिक कम्युनिटी करता काही क्लाउड्स अवेलेबल आहेत.
ओके सर, डेफिनेटली आम्हाला युज होईल ते.
हा, जसे मिनी फिजिक्स म्हणून हे केलेलं आहे यांनी. ही युनिव्हर्सिटी या विन्स्कॉन्सिन आहे, मॅडिसनची, युएसची युनिव्हर्सिटी आहे. त्यांच्या डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिजिक्सनी स्वतःच त्यांनी एक 5 स्टोरेज आणि शेअरिंग सिस्टीम डेव्हलप केली आहे, ज्याच्यामध्ये ते लोक हे करू शकतात. तर मी चेक करतो, तुमच्या फिजिक्सच्या रिलेटेड मला काही मिळालं तर मी ते रिसोर्सेस नक्की शेअर करतो.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच सर फॉर युअर कोऑपरेशन.
हा.
सरांचं उद्या पण एक लेक्चर आहे आपल्याकडे, तर सर उद्या पण सोबत राहतीलच. So, if there are no questions, thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful session. Informative in a very simplified way you have explained. So,
Thank you,
tomorrow we will meet again, sir. Sir, tomorrow 10:30 or 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock. We'll meet at 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, sir. चालेल.
Yeah.
ठीक आहे. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
ma'am.
sir. Have a
Thank
nice
you, all
day.
of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Friends, now we will take 5 minutes break only and we'll directly proceed with our presentations. Meanwhile, जिनके presentations नहीं है, they can have their lunch also simultaneously. But जिनके presentations है, आप अपने पहले seminar दे दीजिए and then you can proceed for lunch. 5 मिनट का break लेते हैं and we'll start with the seminars.